Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Uh, if you are coming back, thank you. That's awesome. If you're new here, there is a piece of cat hair floating behind me. If you're new here, welcome to this mistake I'm making. I hope anyone gets enjoyment out of it, but I've already restarted this once. I had my window open and my neighbor started mowing. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that hair floating around. Or as if you're a listener of the Munster Cast, Mike would probably call it my ghost that haunts this house for no reason. Because no one has died here. Anyway, this week I'm going to be playing Heroes of the Grid. Heroes of the Grid is a 7 player cooperative game with cards, boards, miniatures, dice. It's so much fun. It is thematically perfect for Power Rangers. My cat is back. Hi, Penny. In fact, I got a Power Ranger shirt on. That is pure coincidence. I was not planning to do that. Yes, I know. You're not happy. I put you out the desk. Yeah. I'm not starting over again. So I'm going to power through this. I recorded a Monster Cast this morning, so if I'm saying we, it's because I'm brain dead. But back to this game. It is, you can get this from Renegade's website or any of your local game stores. This is not a paid sponsor. They are not paying for anything that I'm about to say. I just really, really love this game. I have everything for it. Please stop. Whatever you're doing, please stop. And I'm so excited. It's coming back to Kickstarter sometime soon. They have Renegade Con coming up. Literally next week, if you're watching this as it comes out, October 10th, I believe, where they will be announcing... Stop it. For the love of God, cat. We'll be announcing the next series, which is great because they have not done a Kickstarter for Heroes of the Grid for a number of years. Cats. And I can't wait what they could possibly have for us because the waves that are coming out are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The last one was literally just one box. And that is depressing me. I hope we're not reaching the end of this game. It has so much life left in it. And if I could help reignite the flames of interest, then I will do whatever I can to keep it going until we get every possible ranger that we can. Obviously, not every monster can happen, but this is the base game. You get Rita Repulsa as a boss. You get 3 monsters, Pudgy Pig, Bones, Madame O, Nasty Knight. You get the 5 original Rangers, Jason, Trini, Kim, Billy, Zach. And it's so much fun. You can't imagine how much fun I have. It is a bit longer of a game, so I will be breaking this up over 3 episodes this weekend. Part 1 today, 2 tomorrow, 3 on Sunday. Part 1 is going to be a bit longer than the others because I'm also doing an introduction trying to explain how the game works. I'm terrible at it, but please bear with me. I'm more of a person who learns by doing, so I do explain as I go. Not learn as you do, visual learner. So instead of someone just telling me stuff, like I like seeing it happen in front of me, and then I have an example of it right there. So besides Here's the Grid, which they do have a bundle going on currently. It's a great deal, honestly. You get the base game, you get the Legendary Oliver pack, you get 3 Zord packs, and the first dice set. So, the Ninja Zords, the Shogun Zords, and the Super Zeo Zords, and the Tommy Oliver pack, which Tommy Oliver is the most popular, Power Ranger that has been. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank. So it's a really, really good bundle, especially as you saw with all this added on. It's only like an extra, what, 25 bucks right now. And these days, they do these sales often. So if you miss this video is old and it's back to full price, don't worry. They will drop it again. They always do. But, you know, just showing some stuff. I have also, in this video, I also used the dice set. The first one, I got the second one, and I'm also using the G.I. Joe dice set as well as the base game for that. And there is a G.I. Joe version of this. For those that are fans, I have it. It does add some new mechanics like the universal deployment, which the newest expansion for that just added stuff for elite foot soldiers. If you don't know what those are, don't worry about it. I'm sure I will do a video on it sometime. But yeah, this game is so much fun no matter what. I am not a G.I. Joe fan. I'm really enjoying the Energon Universe comics, but aside from that, I have never cared for them. I got this game just for the universal mechanics. I love it. The vehicle mechanics they use instead of Zords, just so much fun. Just so much fun. And you will also see I use, this is going to be way later in part 3, but I use the painted version of the deluxe Megazord figure. They have an unpainted one. I think it's currently out of print. It may have come back. I've seen some people talking about it, but, you know. I also using the scenario 0 in this, and I screw up the setup. I promise you one of these videos I will do flawlessly without any problems. So far, we're 0 for 3. But that's okay. It still works out, and it plays just as it would intended. You'll hear me talk about it in the videos itself. But the scenarios, they are free from their website. This is just a pack with some extra tokens that for the specific scenarios you get the Titanus and Ultra Zord, Zord and Megazord cards, more dividers if you got the card box. Again, all optional stuff. The scenarios themselves, they are free from the website. You can get those. You can get those at any point. Another thing I want to point out is I am using some I am using custom tokens. Those are no longer on sale. I'm sorry. Again, I'll get into that in the video. But the to keep track of my Ranger abilities, I use the deluxe. Sorry, that was my alarm to go get my wife. So I gotta do this real quick. The deluxe tokens from the Kickstarter exclusive box. This box is a must. You get so many more villains in it. You get 3 more Rangers, Ranger Slayer, Green and White Mighty Morphin. The Tommy are in this. You can also get those from the Tommy pack, obviously, but they are in this. They have different sculpts. You get Scorpina, Lord Zed, an alternate sculpt for Rita. You get Goldar, Finster, who is a SOB to fight. Pumpkin Wrapper, my personal favorite monster ever. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind if you want to get into this game and you're thinking about what to get first. I highly recommend this box for birthday lists, whatever. Yeah. So enough rambling. Let's jump to me explaining how to play and set up the game and all of that goodness. Thank you again for joining me on this. Who knows what this channel will become. We'll see if we keep going after I find something to do with my days. But for now, I'm having so much fun playing these games. I hope you're having fun watching them with me. And yeah, let's do it. Alright, thank you for joining me today. This week I decided I'm going to go for a Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid from Renegade Games. Jonathan Ying is the creator of it. Really awesome dude. I met him. I have his autograph in one of the boxes. He's the only game designer I have that for, but let's get into it. Making noise. Sorry. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our foot soldier decks. All right. Now those are going to correspond with map tiles. You can find those on the back. See, the Putty Patrollers here come with Ernie's Juice Bar and the park. Super Putty Patrollers going to be Industrial District and the high school. So what you do is just shuffle these all together. All you got to do. It's real simple. And then you separate them into 4 piles. A, B, C, and D. And you keep doing that until there are 5 cards in each pile. And then you're going to take the creatures you decide to fight. In the base box, you have Madame Woe, Nasty Knight, Pudgy Pig, and Bones. And for a boss, Rita Repulsa, obviously. For this game, I'm going to be doing a mix. We're going to be doing It's Morphing Time, which is a free scenario, a starter scenario, off of the website, or they probably still sell this. They gave this away as part of a fan appreciation kit a couple years ago now, but it collects the first, what is it, 13 scenarios that, again, you can download them for free off the website into a nice book. So we're going to be doing It's Morphin' Time introductory scenario just for my first video. Let's see. We're going to place Pudgy Pig on pile B. We're going to place Bones on C. I don't know why I had to look. It's obvious. Monsters only get added to B and C. Bosses in obviously in D. And then you shuffle them. And you only do it once. And since the backs kind of reveal what they are, try not to look. Like where the cards lay are just going to be where they lay. Then you're going to shuffle C. And you're going to put it on top of D. And you're going to do the same thing for B and A. And, you know. Well, I'm looking and this is going to be an interesting fight. I'm going to place that there. And you do not shuffle this. Do not shuffle it again. I'll get into deployment when we get to that step. Next up, you should choose your Rangers. I went with Jason, Scott, Trini, and Kimberly. Because I really like them. I also really like Billy, but I have a feeling I'm going to be needing the the offensive and energy generation for this fight. I'm going to be using the solo rules for this as well. That is from scenario number 20, and I'll get into that later once we start actually getting into the game. But for solo or any other variation that come with extra lives, you just place those, you know, in the command center, in the center tile. It's also where you put your figures to start the game. I'm mostly going to be playing with vanilla stuff just out of the core box. There's a couple superficial things I will be doing, like these life tokens from the fan appreciation kit, like I mentioned with the book. I will be using these energy tokens from the Kickstarter box to remind me of my once per battle abilities. I will be using these tokens from Covenant, who do some really nice acrylic tokens. Fortunately, they got out of this game within its first year, so it's not something you can buy anymore, which is a shame because they did such a great job. Here's my Zord tracker. We'll get into that once we get to that board. Anyway, you got your characters. They come with 10 card decks. And usually, like I believe Alpha is the only exception to this, they have shields at the bottom which represent your life. Again, we'll get into that once we start battling. Every deck has some combination that equal 20. Some of them are configured a bit differently. Like, see, Trini here has a lot more 2s than anyone else. I don't know if that was on camera. But, so, you know, it changes up the game. And the shields are important when it comes to a game mechanic that I'm not going to be using too often because it's kind of hard with solo, but it's Legendary Ranger mode where you take Rangers and say, I want to use Jason, but I'm going to swap that out for Precision Strike, 2 shield for 2 shield. And you can do this, let's say, we'll use Kimberly's Take Aim and we'll replace Team Tactics. And you basically make your own custom Rangers. You shuffle them up. Obviously, mine are going to stick out because I'm using different backings. If you're a card counting type person who can't help but memorize everything in a deck, go with clear. I'm not one of those people. I know what's in a deck because I've played these characters so much, only when I see it. I can't think in my head like, okay, I got, I got 3 cards left in my deck. All of these are in my grave, or my discard. I got these in my hand. So that means I must have, I don't know. I looked at them, I don't even remember. Team tag, whatever. You get the idea. If you're that type of person, don't go with colored sleeves. These are Dragon Shield, by the way. Amazing quality. This is what is this thing called? Power board, I believe. I got a bunch of stuff on it. Don't worry about that. This is just where I keep it for now. In fact, let's just get it off there. So once you got your Rangers, you're going to find the corresponding Zords to them. Since I'm doing solo, which is 3 characters, I get these 3, and then I get to choose the other 2. I'm just going to go with the rest of the base team. Then you shuffle them up. No shenanigans, as Kanji says. Then you're going to choose a Megazord. Again, I'm going with, core box stuff. So we got the Dino Megazord. That goes on the very bottom. You put your Zords on top. This track will fill up as you defeat villains, or foot soldiers and villains. So every foot soldier will get you 1. I'm going to use these core box damage tokens to represent that so I don't run out of minis. Thank you, Home Gamer Dad, for that idea. I use that for like all of my home games, or my personal games now. When you defeat a monster, you just automatically get the Zord. And every time you get one, you move up 1 to kind of make it a little easier so you don't have to sit here counting the cards. You can be like, okay, so I have 1 Zord. I'm this many away from the Megazord or whatever. And there are rules to play with 6 Rangers. Either with 3 people or 6 people. And all that differs there. Again, I'm not going to be doing that. That's too complicated. You just put an extra Zord on here, so it takes it's a little bit more difficult. And then with the I already shuffled my deployment, but I'll use this universal deck as an example from G.I. Joe. So they come with different amounts that get deployed. Like, how did I not? Okay. So you can either get 1 foot soldier, 2, or 3. And whenever you're playing 6 rangers, this one is always treated as a 3. So the lowest amount of foot soldiers you'll ever get from a card in a 6 ranger game are 2. So it helps increase, the panic and stuff. So going back to the field, the tiles, you'll notice these numbers on each one. That is the amount of enemy foot soldiers that can be there. That includes foot soldiers, monsters, and bosses. Once it reaches that number, it panics, which is when you'll put, one of these things down. Monsters and bosses cannot go to panic locations. So say we got 5 foot soldiers here and I draw 3 foot soldiers and Pudgy Pig. And they're supposed to go here. Scratch that. Let's say it's already been panicked. We defeated 4 of them, so there's 1 left. This does not get unpanicked until all enemies are defeated. Then it goes away. So let's say we'll do that. And then going back to the universal deck, say we pull this in Pudgy Pig's card. That means the 3 foot soldiers get to go here. Pudgy Pig has to go to the next clockwise location. And once a monster or boss enters the zone, that panics automatically. Monsters and bosses cannot go into anything that's already panicked. Foot soldiers can go up until you hit the limit. I think the only thing left to do now is I'll demonstrate a normal deployment phase. Yeah, there's... And we will get on to playing. So, normally for deployment you draw 5 cards. For this special scenario, it says we're only resolving 4. I don't know why I'm doing that. Trying to read on a video is so annoying. But yeah, you resolve 4 deployments instead of 5, which is... Jonathan Ying has said on the Facebook group, which is an amazing group of people, also the Discord for Renegade Games, amazing people there who will help you so much. And many of the most helpful people have actually gone on to become designers for some of Heroes of the Grid cards, the Deck Builder, which is another one they offer, and some of their other products. So they're so nice to the community. I love Renegade Games. Scott Gata and crew, just amazing people. Anyway, back to this. So we're resolve 4 for this scenario only. Normally, again, 5. So here we go. We got 1 Super Putty. And then you look at the next card. Whatever location there, that's where that goes. So 1 Putty's going to the juice bar. 2 regular putties to the high school. 3 Super Putties. Love to see those large deployments early, because one of the ways you can lose, if all 4 locations are panicked, you're done. They did add a variant rule for games with lives in them. If you have any lives left and all 4 locations panic, you remove every one of your remaining lives and you get 1 final round to clear something before you lose. So yes, 3 to the Industrial District, and finally we have 1 Super Putty to the Industrial District. And then you take the cards you drew, you shuffle them up, and you put them at the bottom of the deployment deck to keep this constantly refreshed. There's lots of players that miss that rule and then wonder what you do when this runs out. This should never run out. So, now we start. Put these here. You always begin with one personal energy. So, every character should have that. Now for solo mode, you draw at the beginning of... So I'm shuffling Jason's deck. Shuffling Trini's deck. I want to get it on camera just because I know there's some people who don't trust, you know, YouTubers. Or not YouTubers, gamers. So we're going to shuffle them. And then for solo, you draw up to 7 cards. So I'm going to do 3 from Jason. Lead the charge. The next 2 dice attack. The next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, add 1 die to the attack. That's nice. Ooh, Tyranno Slash for 1 energy. 3 die attack. You may re-roll any number of dice during this attack. That's always nice. Blade Blaster. That is their generic card that every Mighty Morphin character has. Basically, you just pump energy into it, and it can shoot a ton of targets, provided they're not guarded. We'll get into guard and that stuff when we fight. I'm going to draw 2 from Trini. Great. We got another Blade Blaster. That's so helpful. Precision Strike. This does an automatic 2 damage. After you play this card, you may spend 1 energy to shuffle it back into your deck instead of discarding it. That's nice. Then we're going to draw 2 from Kimberly. Arrow Shot, 1 energy, 3 dice. Ignore the guard keyword when choosing a target for this attack. So again, I'll get into the guard when we do fights. Take Aim, 0 energy. Maneuver. Gain 1 energy. You may immediately play another card. If it is an attack, you may re-roll any number of dice during that attack. So, this is probably a good time to get into these. There are different types of 3 different types of cards in the player deck. There are Attack, which pretty self-explanatory. Maneuvers. These take a player's turn, but give you something beneficial. So, you're kind of giving up doing damage to gain something in return. There are also reaction cards. I didn't draw any of those, but those have specific triggers on them, and they can happen during your turn or a villain's. And, I forgot to mention, each character has their own ability as well. For Kimberly, Quick Shot. At the start of each battle, you may deal 1 damage to an enemy card of your choice. I love that. Trini, Double Strike. Once per battle after you play a card, you may immediately play another card with the same name. That is so helpful for her. Because, say we got another Precise Strike, boom, instant 4 damage. Jason, Leadership. Once per battle, a ranger of your choice may re-roll any number of dice during an attack. This is so helpful. There are a couple other Jason abilities out there you can swap this with through Print and Play or the Kickstarter box that gives you Dragon Shield Jason. This version of him, this is unmatched to me. None of the other abilities even come close to being useful. So, that's just me personally. There's other people that love Dragon Shield Jason. I don't get it. It is what it is. So, now, we get energy to move around. In most games, you don't get that much. In solo, you get starting of 5. And you gain another one for every monster you defeat. So you can do up to 7 actions a turn by the time the boss comes around. Hopefully, sometimes it doesn't work out that well. I'm going to use my first energy to, we're going to go to the industrial district since there are 4 of them there. These pieces never want to stand up. And then we will, yeah, there's nothing else I can do. So we will use the second energy to begin the battle. We have foot soldier decks that I'm going to shuffle. And these ones are just in real cheap side loading sleeves. Why are they side loading? Because I accidentally ordered them the first time and I didn't want to pay to get different ones. So now I'm slowly transitioning these to Dragon Shield. It's a slow process because they're not cheap. But here we go. So we have 4 enemies. We can draw up to 4 enemy cards for foot soldiers. I'm going to use this top row just because simpler. So here we go. First card, Engulf. It's a fast and guard that drains 1 energy. Fast means if I draw it later on, it goes to the front. And that means the enemies get the first turn. Usually Rangers go first and last. So it'll be Ranger, enemy, Ranger, enemy, Ranger, enemy, Ranger, enemy, Ranger. This eliminates that they go first. Also, the guard. Well, let's see what we get. So we got Putty Pummel next, which is going to deal 3 damage. This guard means I have to take care of this card before I can deal damage to this one. Unless, like Kimberly's card, allows me to get around that. Next up, we got Swarm Attack. Deal 1 damage, increase this damage by 1 for each foot soldier in this location. Now, it doesn't, some of these will say other foot soldiers. The putties, they count themselves. So this is always going to be 2 no matter what. Right now, this is going to deal 2, 3, 4, 5 damage total. I don't know why I had to count that. There's 4 of them. I swear I know math, people. And our final card is another Putty Pummel. All right. Now, they are going to go first. I forgot to mention, in a fight, you get a shared energy pool, and that continues even in solo mode. That's an automatic 2 energy that gets added to that. You can take from your personal pool and add to it. Even in solo, that is a good idea, because if a character gets KO'd, you lose that energy. So it's always to be mindful of that. I usually put them all there for bosses and monsters. Sometimes there's some foot soldiers that it's a good idea to do that with as well, but not always. In the G.I. Joe version of this, that's actually mandatory. You have to take these energy, put them in the pool first thing. But anyway, this isn't G.I. Joe, this is Power Rangers. So this is going to go. It's going to drain 1 of my 2 energy. Oh, one thing I forgot to do before starting the battle. This is the lead Ranger token. This came as a pre-order with the Shadow of Vengeance and Arsenal packs. There's one that comes in the base game as well. This one's just a cool steel coin that I can also use to flip when I need to. And I'm going to designate Jason as my leader. So I'm going to give him the lead Ranger token. That isn't going to matter, I'm pretty sure, with any of the characters I'm using here. There might be one in the core box that specifically targets lead Ranger, but there are monsters and bosses in the expansions that will definitely target the lead and lead only for massive damage. So it's important to know who should be the one to take the damage is what I'm trying to say. Who's got the tankier deck. Some cards have extra defenses when you draw them. None of the ones I'm using here have that, so I'm not going to go into that too well, but in a future video, I might. I believe usually when it's more than one person playing, whoever uses their energy to start the battle gains the token. I believe that's how it works. It's been a long time since I played with more than just me or my wife. She'll sometimes humor me, and we'll do two-player this, which that's another interesting one. I'm not going to get into how to do that mechanic, but too much. But basically, you take two ranger decks, shuffle them together. That's what you use. It's an interesting and a different way to play it. There's so many variations to this game. I love it. But let's get back to this battle here. So he just took an energy from me. I'm about to take 3 damage. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Oh, I forgot. Quick shot. At the start of the battle, deal a damage to 1. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that on swarm attack because that's going to be really ouch if that goes off. You know what? I'm going to try Arrow Shot. I'm going to take this energy and put it in there. And in solo mode, when you play a card from a ranger, you may draw a card from any of the other 2 rangers. So I'm going to draw a card from Trini. Saber-tooth strike, 1 energy. Attack, 2 dice. If this attack defeats a target, you may immediately perform a second attack with 2 dice. That's real good. But we're going to do Arrow Shot. So, and I'm going to choose my dice at random. For my dice, I've just decided I'm going to take 1 of each color from the various dice packs that they have released and also the G.I. Joe game. So, I know that a lot of people like to use the actual color of the Ranger. I'm just like, since I play solo so much, I'm just going to, whatever. We got 2 damage. Oh, I'm finally going to get on camera how terrible I am at this. Alright, so we did 2 damage. I moved the microphone, I'm sorry. I'm trying to hopefully not get the rolling in your ears. I don't know how loud that just was. I had the microphone right next to it. Sorry about that. But anyway, so that's 2 damage to that Super Putty. So this gets discarded. And those get discarded in their own personal discards as well. You don't have a mixed discard. So how you get those cards back will be recovery. We'll go through that, I'm sure. I'm sure we will go through it. Putty Pummel will go. That's going to deal 3 damage. I'm going to have Jason take it. So here's how you take damage. You flip a card. It's 2 shields. So that absorbs 2 of the damage. He's still got 1 to go. That's 2. That's more than the 1 damage. That means he gets to keep this card and it goes to the bottom of his deck. So all in all, I only lost 1 card. Not bad. All right, back to our turn. I'm going to take no chances. I'm going to do Precise Strike for 2 damage. And I'm going to just defeat this swarm attack. So it remains part of this sequence. You just flip it over to show that it will do nothing when it resolves. And because of that, I got to remove Putty Patrol. Super Putty Patrol, which we'll get to once this is done. And I'm going to draw from Kimberly this time. Flying Kick, 2 dice attack, and gain an energy. That's nice. So, the one we just defeated will go. Nothing's going to happen. It's basically a skip turn for them. So now it's our turn again. I think What do I want to do? I'm not going to be clearing this location, obviously, which is a shame. I did that. Okay, so here I'm going to do take aim, which is going to give me an energy. You may immediately play another card. Now, since this is solo player, the U means specifically Kimberly. If it was any ranger, then you could pick from any of the three, but the U still matters in solo. And just so happens I have Flying Kick, which will, again, gain me an energy, and because I played it with take aim, I get to re-roll any number of dice during this attack. So I'm going to roll 2, but before I do that, I'm going to draw... I'll draw 1 from Trini, 1 from Jason. So we got Twin Fang Teamwork. Reaction. Play this card after another ranger resolves an attack to deal 1 damage to the target of that attack. Okay. Maneuver. Gain 1 energy. Another ranger of your choice may immediately play 1 card. All right. Now, I don't want to draw too much because, as you saw with I got attacked, these decks also serve as my life. So if you take too many cards out of there, you will not have enough defense to protect yourself. So it's kind of a, what are you going to choose? All right, so here we go with the 2-die attack on Putty Pummel. And 0. All right, so I'm going to use my reroll. 2. That's not enough, but I'll take it. All right. Next up, this Putty Pummel that I failed to defeat will go, and it's going to deal 3 damage. So I'm going to give it to... Kimberly's going to take this, so that's 1. That's discarded. 2, so that's 3. Still discarded. You have to exceed the number of damage you get to keep the card. So she just lost 2 cards. It's not bad, but not great either. And we have 1 final turn. So what I'm going to do is... I'm going to play a little... Alright, I'm going to do Team Tactics. Gain yet another energy. I'm not going to draw for that card. And then another ranger of my choice gets to play 1 card. So, again, the wording matters even in solo. Another ranger means it has to be anyone but him. So, and it just so happens I have the card I want from someone else. Blade Blaster. So I'm going to sink all 3 of these because it will refill every battle back up to 2. And I'm going to do 1 here and 2 here. And I can't hit that one, so that putty will go undefeated still. Okay, so I defeated 3 putties, so I'm going to put 3 tokens down. We are halfway to our first Zord. So, now we have a decision to make. Do we fight this one lone putty? Or do we go somewhere else? And I think I'm going to go somewhere else. So we're going to go over here to the high school. And I'm going to initiate a fight there. All right, here we are. And we're going to face these 2 putty patrollers. I'm going to keep Jason as my lead ranger. And I'm not going to draw anything. So the first card we get, Leaping Attack. 2 health, deal 3 damage. Next, Swarm Attack. So just like the Super Putties, deal 1 damage, increase this damage for each foot soldier in this location, so it's going to do a total of 3 to me. We fill back up our shared energy pool. And because it's not fast, we go first. And I'm going to play Trini's Sabertooth Strike. Oh, I've almost forgot about Kimberly Quickshot again. I'm going to do 1 damage to the swarm attack. All right, Sabertooth Strike. Here we go. And we do 2. You're supposed to declare your target. I'm hitting the first one in the lineup. So that is 2. That will defeat it. And if this attack defeats a target, you may immediately perform a second attack with 2 dice. So I'm going to use Jason's once a battle ability and re-roll this. Ooh. So that did a total of 3 damage, which was overkill, but that ends the fight right there. They didn't even stand a chance. So with 2 more putties defeated, I am 1 away from getting my Zord. Alright, so I got one last action that I'm going to use for recover, just so I could show you. Now when you recover in solo, you take 2 Rangers. You can take 6 shields worth of cards from their discard pile and put them back in their deck. So I'm going to start with Trini. I'm going to take Flying Kickback. I'm going to take both Flying Kickback. And then I will take Arrow Shot. And then for Jason, do I want to do... No, I'm going to recover on Trini because he doesn't have that many cards in his discard. So she's going to get 4, 5. So that completely refreshes her deck. And also, if you didn't have a personal energy when you recovered in solo mode, you get an energy. In regular, more than 1 player games, recovery does not give you a personal energy back. You have to go back to the command center, which has the ability in other games called Power Up. So you would have to move here with an action. And as a free action, Power Up, which is you refresh everything. Put your hand, discard pile in your deck, shuffle, draw up to 5 new cards. Which is the limit for normal games, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. Hand size is 5 normally. So there's that. We're gonna, now that we're done, all my actions are spent. We are going into the next deployment. So let's see what we get. Move this stuff up here. All right, so we got 2 Super Putties plus Pudgy Pig. There are okay, I'm missing some rules here. So I'm going to have to do this now. So I've been playing this a little bit harder than it needs to be. Not that this is very hard at all. Like I said, this is easy mode with 4 deployments. But from the Putty Patrollers, you're supposed to take Flanking and remove them. Now, Flanking is an ability that is the most annoying part of Putty Patrollers, which every enemy card, not just their own, does increase damage by 1. So, and then Super Putties, we're supposed to take out the Regrow, which just deploys another Super Putty in this location. Unless it's full, then it goes to the next one clockwise. I didn't think Foot Soldiers got messed with in this because usually these aren't that terrible. Those are annoying cards, not terrible. But for Pudgy Pig, we are going to find one of his 2 Ravenous Hunger. We're going to remove it. So when we fight him, he will have 1 less card in his thing. And I will talk about how to defeat monsters when we get there. But for now, in Power Rangers, you go Foot Soldiers first. So Super Putties to the high school. So that's over here. Then the monster or boss, which would then panic location. that is reversed. In G.I. Joe, where the monster, or I'm sorry, they're called lieutenants in that game. Lieutenant and boss will go down first, and then the foot soldiers. So it's I don't know which way around. I don't really think it matters. I know it does matter, but I don't know which way I prefer it. And there is also a third type of villain called Nemesis, which are interchangeable with lieutenants and monsters. We'll do that in a future video. Those are so much fun. Those got introduced in the Rise of the Psycho Rangers. My favorite big box expansion to this date. Oh, it's so fun. But anyway, let's get back to deployment. So that was one. Pudgy Pig is now in play. 2 Super Putties to the park. 3 Putty Patrollers are going to the park. So that's filling up nice and quick. And finally, we have 1 putty to the juice bar. Oh, and we were here. So that's very convenient for us. And then as always, you take the cards that you deployed with, you shuffle them, and you put them at the bottom of the deployment deck. Alright, so since he's in our location, this makes things so much easier. More often than not, you have to track them down, and oh boy, is that annoying. I might use some different action tokens for my next game, because you can barely see these acrylic ones on my wife's tablecloth, which has been beat up to no end by my board games. Anyway, I'm going to use my first action, and we are going to fight this Pudgy Pig. And since this is the beginning of a fight, I can draw back up my cards. I currently have 4 of my 7, so I'm going to go 1 Trini, Saber-Tooth Strike. How convenient. Did I shuffle this? I'm going to shuffle this just to be sure. That would have been so useful, but... Alright, so now we got 2 Fang Teamwork. It's a reaction card. Play this card after any other ranger resolves an attack. Deal 1 damage to the target of that attack. And then I'm going to go 2 Kimberly. We got Acrobatics, a reaction. Play this card when you reveal a card for defense to add the revealed card to your hand instead of discarding it. So that just that you get useful stuff instead of getting rid of it. And then a Flying Kick, which is, oh, I love Flying Kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. So now, this is where the 2 rows come into play. We got Pudgy Pig here. I'm going to shuffle his cards so you know I'm not cheating. Alright. His first card is Ravenous Hunger. Oh, okay. The other one that we got rid of, or that we didn't get rid of, Fast and Passive. Passive means it's inactive, or I'm sorry, it is active throughout the entire battle. While this card is in play, Rangers cannot play cards with an energy cost greater than 0 because the SOB 8R weapons, basically, if you remember the episode. You should. Pudgy Pig was so popular they brought him back. Next, Butter Knife Cutter. Deal 3 damage to 2 different Rangers. Ooh, fun. Solid Fork Stab, a guard card. Deal 4 damage to the Ranger with the most cards in their hand. Cool. Oh, and another Solid Fork Stab. I've been hoping for this situation. So, when there are 2 guards normally guard both next to, and now that we're using 2 rows, above and below as well. But guard cards cannot guard guards. So, even though they're next to each other, they're both vulnerable. Otherwise, this game would be way too hard. And then we got 2 Super Putties, which means I just draw 2 cards for the Super Putty. So we got Engulf, which is a fast and guard. So that means this card is protected from this, or because of this. So, and then Putty Pummel, deal 3 damage. Is what it is. We're gonna get our energy pool back up. How you defeat a monster? You have to take out 4 of their cards. Once a card is flipped, even if you don't beat him this battle, that card is removed from the rest of the deck in this fight. So, say I get rid of Ravenous Hunger, I will not see it again if I fight him. Like, there is 0 chance to see it again. Alright. He's going to go first. I don't know why I'm getting my stuff ready. So that's going to go. Nothing happens. Is what it is. And I should take note. If this fast card wasn't here, but this one is down here, enemies will still go first starting with this top row. It doesn't matter where fast appears. So that is where foot soldiers can get real annoying real quick. Also, because they guard stuff. And I need to get rid of Ravenous Hunger because I have to use my cards. So I'm going to use my Flying Kick on him. Also, I'm going to move all of my energy there, and then I gain 1 from Flying Kick. So I'm going to target Engulf here. Oh, also, I forgot her Quick Shot again. And Ranger abilities and maneuvers, reactions, and Zords, anything that doesn't specifically say, attack or target, like, what am I? Like the Blade Blasters here. This attack deals the amount of damage equal to the amount of damage spent on this card across any number of targets. So if they're specifically targeting something, guard protects from that. But if it's just like, if you've taken damage, hit back, that's as a reaction, you can choose anything, even guards. So, all right, Flying Kick. Let's do this. I need 2. I got 2. I should record these more often. You cannot imagine. And because I got rid of that powered up our power level. Because this is Power Rangers, and I'm going to say power so much. We immediately get a Zord. And the first Zord is the Triceratops. Exhaust this card to allow any Ranger to choose up to 2 cards from their discard pile and return them to the top of their deck in any order. That is real helpful later on. I'm glad I got it. But for now, not doing me any favors. And Zords can be used at any time as well. They kind of break the regular order of operation. Some things can be reactionary to Zords. So you just go from activating the Zord on rather than whatever else is going on. So, alright. So I used a Kimberly card. I'm going to draw from Jason, and I got Team Tactics. Gain an energy and another Ranger of your choice. Immediately play 1 card. That is so good. Now, Butter Knife Cutter is going to go. And it's going to deal 3 damage to 2 different Rangers. I'm going to have Kimberly take some of it. So, 3, 3. That's it. She discards her acrobatics, and that's it. And next up, I'm going to have Trini take the other 3. So there's a guarantee she's going to lose at least 1 card here. So that's 2. That's gone. 1. Unfortunate. She loses 2 cards. But Blade Blaster, which I don't... It's useful, as you saw. I'm not going to use it that often. Because I already got 1 in my hand. I don't need multiple. So I'm not too sad about that. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, I'm going to go after Salad Fork Stab. And I'm going to use... Alright, so I can't use anything with energy as long as Ravenous is there, which is going to be irritating. So I guess I will do lead the charge on. I gotta get rid of that Ravenous. I can't. There's nothing. I can't do anything. So that's 2 die on Ravenous. I need 4. I got 2. Then I'm gonna play my Twin Fang Teamwork to bump it up to 3. So he just needs 1 more, and that's done. Because I played Jason, I will draw from Kimberly, which is Twin Fang Teamwork. That would have been nice to have. And then for Trini's, I'm going to draw a block, which is a reaction that allows me to prevent 3 damage to any ranger. So, Salad Fork Stab is going to go. Deal 4 damage to the ranger with the most cards in their hand. That would be Jason, who has 4 cards. Okay, so he's going to deal 4 damage. I'm going to use my block to stop 3 of it. So he's only going to do 1 for me. Alright, and then it's his Power Sword, which is 3, so no loss. Now it is our turn again. I don't have anything that lets me do damage. So here's another variant rule that they added with this scenario, actually. You can use any card and discard it to get a 1 die attack. It bounced out of my dice tray, but whatever. It's 1 die. That's all I needed. Ravenous is done. Okay. Unfortunately, Salad Fork Stab is going to go again, and Jason's going to take 4 more damage. So here we go. Block. That's 3. Tyranno Slash. That's 2. And then I feel like I need to use the Triceratops. Exhaust this card allowed any ranger choose 2 cards from the discard pile. Turn them to the top of their deck. I'm going to choose these 2 blocks and put them on Jason. Just to beef up his defense a bit more. Now I can finally use my stuff. And also because I played Lead the Charge, the next attack gets an extra die. So I'm going to play Tyranno Slash, which is going to cost 1 energy. Oops, I threw that in the wrong bucket. And normally it's 3, but now I get to roll 4. And I'm going to be targeting Salad Fork Stab. That's 3. Boom. I'm halfway to defeating Pudgy Pig. And because I played him, I'm going to draw Trini, which is Saber-Tooth Strike. Putty Patrols go. I'm going to use Team Tactics to gain 1 energy. Now the ranger of my choice may play a card. I'm going to play Saber-Tooth Strike with that 1 energy. So for 2 dice, I'm going to take Salad Fork Stab on. I'm going to use his reroll. I hope I didn't already do that. It doesn't matter. It's 1 damage. And because I used Team Tactics and Saber-Tooth Strike, so for Jason's card, I'm going to draw from Kimberly, Arrow Shot. Ooh, that's a good one. And then for Trini's card, I'm also going to draw from Kimberly. Flying Kick. Now we're talking. Why couldn't I get these cards earlier? Putty Pummel's going to go. He's going to deal 3 damage. Well, Jason's going to take it because he's going to put the block on top. Now, I'm going to play Blade Blaster. So I just need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 energy. And I get rid of that. So that's it. I can't do any more. I have to fight again. So, yeah. These get shuffled back in. These 3 get removed from Pudgy Pig's deck. This one gets shuffled back in. Then I'm going to use one of my actions. I'm going to recover. Jason's going to take 6 shields back. What do I want? I definitely want that. I will take these 2 team tactics for 4. That gives me... I'll take one of the lead the charge back as well. So there's 6 going back to him. Oh, also, because the fight ended and there was 1 left in the shared pool, that means I can give it to somebody. And I'm going to give it to Kimberly because Jason and Trini are about to recover. So he gets that, she gets that. That goes back into his deck. And Trini, oop, what the heck? Trini will take back Twin Fang Teamwork, Tenacity, and Sabertooth Strike for her 6. And then I'm going to use my 3rd action to start this fight over again. So, with monsters and bosses, you always draw as much as you can to the max of 4. So, Salad Fork Stab is back. Another salad. How many of these does he have? Butter Knife Cutter. And a Butter Knife Cutter. Wow. Okay, all I have to do is defeat one of those, and he's done. I still have to go through the entire fight, but it is what it is. And then we got 1 Super Putty Patrol, which is Pummel. Alright. Alright, here we go. 2, 3, 4. I should have drew before I placed those, but I didn't. Doesn't matter. Alright, I'm going to draw from Jason. We got Tyranno Slash back. I'm going to draw another one from him. We got another Tyranno Slash. And then I will go 1 from Trini, which is Precise Strike. Okay. All their abilities refresh. She gets Quick Shot. What am I going to target? I will target... You know what? Why not? I'm going to go for Salad Fork Stab just because. Then I can play my Precise Strike, and it's just... That's it. All I got to do is survive this fight. Pudgy Pig is done. Because I played her card, I'm going to draw from Kim's deck. I got Arrow Shot. Cool. Oh, I forgot. The shared pool refreshed. So... You know what? I'm going to do Arrow Shot. No. That's dumb. Tyranno Slash. I'm going to get rid of this because once this fight ends, that will run away. So I might as well take the experience for my tracker while I can. So, Tyranno Slash for 3 dice. 2. I'm going to use his ability to re-roll this one. 3. Alright, I did it. Now it's just about surviving. So that goes. I'll get my experience tracker up. Okay. And I'm not drawing anything. Deal 4 damage to the ranger with the most cards in hand. That will be Kimberly. Uh-oh. She's only got 2. Okay. I might be losing a life here because I was not paying attention. 4 damage. That's 3, 4. Okay, when that happens, you discard all the cards you have for that character. They are out of this fight, and you remove 1 energy from our command center. Well, that left me with 1 card in my hand. So there we go. Deal 3 damage to 2 different rangers. There's only 2 in the fight. So here we go. 3. That's 2. That's 4. That goes to the bottom. Jason's going to take his 3. That's 1. That's 4. That goes to the bottom. And then Butter Knife is going to go again. So here we go. 2. That's 5. That goes to the bottom. 3. That's it. The Putty Patrols go. That's the end of the fight. We have done it. I think technically I forgot to twip that, but I wasn't going to do anything after that anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. Anyway, that's it. I defeated him. He is gone. That means we power up on the tracker. I get another action token to my pool, bringing it up to 6. And we get another Zord immediately. And it's the Mastodon. Exhaust this card to immediately remove 1 foot soldier from any location and place it on the experience track. This is great for overflow. And that was the end of part 1. I'm going to stop here with taking down Pudgy Pig because, yes, Penny, hi. Oh, yay, you're behind me again. Because it's just the perfect place to stop. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you come back tomorrow for part 2, or if you're watching this way later, part 2 and maybe part 3 will be already out for you to enjoy. Please let me know what you think of this game. If you have any questions, I will do my best to answer in the comments. I'm an active member of the Renegade Power Rangers Facebook group and semi-active in their Discord. All of the people on there, wonderful people. Like, so many of them, a few of them have even gone on to be testers and even have their names written down as part of designing many of the things in this game or the deck building game, which is also pretty fun. So again, thank you so much, and I look forward to whatever I play next. You know, if you got a recommendation from anything I've listed in my first 2 videos, please do so. This cat... also, I apologize if I do seem low energy in this. Our older cat passed away from feline lupus. So yeah, that I was really doing this. It was like a 3-hour thing to film, and it's a real big thing to edit. Just to try and keep my mind off of it, and I appreciate all of you who are coming along, to view this. Thank you. She's clawing my leg. I'm going to end it here. I am rambling. I'll see you for part 2.